Hey guys, what's up? It is Lee here and welcome to a new video. This is going to be a Telos guide for Phase 5. It has been pretty much requested since I made the initial Telos guide on sort of day of release, and I'm going to be doing Phase 5 guide now I know a little bit more about Telos itself. So, what I'll do, all the items in my inventory and the gear that I'm wearing will be in the description, so I'm not going to say them all on this video. I'm just going to leave them in the description like I did in the last video, because I'm going to be assuming that you will have your own gear set up and you'll know how to kill Telos, because you'll be getting onto Phase 5. So you just want to know how to kill Phase 5 or get Phase 5 down and done, so you can get your completionist capes back or your trim completionist capes back and just get that trim requirement done. So, what do you want to know about Phase 5? So when you first, knock it through Phase 4 onto Phase 5, Telos will spawn out the centre of the room. Now you'll have 3 beams, so if you are colourblind, Phase 5 is going to suck for you, because the beams aren't always in the same places, they always interchange, and if you're colourblind, like I said, it is going to be difficult for you. You're just going to have a lot of guesswork to do, but you're going to have the 3 coloured beams, the red, the yellow and the black, and what they do was indicated on screen right there. And also we're going to go into the corners of the room, which you're not going to really need for 100% Phase 5. So in the corners of the room you can see northwest is a yellow font, red font is at northeast, and the black font is south of the room, and they are always the same. So you don't have to worry about them changing, they are always the same, and they are what you're going to be dragging the minions to in later Enrages. You can do it on 100% Enrage, but the method that I'm going to be showing you just to do the initial 100% isn't going to be needed for you to drag the minions to the fonts. So what we'll do, we'll crack on to the method of how we go around killing the minions and actually killing Telos as well in the centre of the room, and we shall get this Phase 5 done and out of the way for you. So when the kill fully starts, you want to protect Mage, you'll get a chat message saying minions have spawned, or Telos has spawned minions or golems, and you need to kill them at the correct coloured font to charge the font and avoid the insta-kill attack from Telos. Now, on screen there you can see the red minions have spawned, but we are not going to go to the red font, we are going to go straight to the yellow beam. Now with red minions you're going to want to watch yourself, because they do stun you, so you want to be using Anticipation and Freedom as soon as they're off cooldown to avoid the stun. Now once in the yellow beam, you want to use Devotion, you want to use a Dreadnip if you do have them, and you want to build up to using Meteor Strike. You want to click on the furthest back minion when you do get them all in the line, use Meteor Strike, and that will destroy a lot of the minions, if not all of them. Then you want to get yourself back in the yellow beam, and then use Cleave, Hurricane or Quake, and that will kill pretty much all the minions, especially on 100% Enrage. So shortly after the minions do get killed, you will receive a debuff, and as you can see right there on your debuff bar, you want to be watching out for that, as it gives you typeless damage, and the only way to clear it would be to stand in the correct coloured beam. Now I got very lucky in this kill, and the beam that I was required to go into was the beam that I was already stood in. I needed to go into the yellow beam because I had the yellow debuff, and I cleared it basically instantly. But if you have a red one, then you need to go into the red beam obviously, and then a black one you need to go into the black beam to clear it. But on this kill I got very lucky and I cleared it instantly. Now what you want to do, if you do have planted feet, you want to switch to your Sunspear. If not, just use Berserk, and you want to then Adrenaline pot up, and you want to use your Assault, all your thresholds basically, Assault, Tendrils, Hurricane, Quake when that comes off cooldown or when they come off cooldown. Keep using Dreadnips and just try and get as much damage as possible. Things you want to watch out for as well are falling rocks. Now when you do see a bunch of rocks falling from the sky and landing on the screen, as you can see there, then you want to move either north, south, east or west, depending on where the rocks fall, out of that direction, so you don't get hit on a typeless damage of around 4 to 5k or even higher at higher Enrages. So after a while the beams will switch. Where I was previously in the yellow beam, that has now turned to a black beam, so I want to make my way round to the next yellow beam where possible. After I did this, I'd used a Hurricane and a Dreadnip, and then went on to using my Onslaught, knowing that the next rock spawn will be in a few game ticks. So I just thought Onslaught would be nice just to get a bit of damage dealt, and I'd be still gaining Adrenaline at the same time with me being in the yellow beam. So when the rocks did spawn, I did surge out of there to the east, but staying in the yellow beam, making sure I'm always gaining Adrenaline. So this time when running back in, you will be preparing yourself for Telos to do its insta-kill attack. But before that, we do a little bit more damage, a little bit more of abilities. I used Pulverize there as my ultimate because my Onslaught was on cooldown, and I think my Berserk was on cooldown as well. Now as you can see there, we get a chat message saying it is charging a Volcanic Orb, and it is going to do an insta-kill attack. So you want to when that does happen, you want to move into the yellow beam if you're not already in it, and you want to switch to your shield or your Strykebow, and you want to use Immortality. Now what this will do, the insta-kill attack will kill you, but Immortality revives you. Now this has been a confirmed mechanic by Jagex, and the mechanic no longer works after 1000% Enrage is achieved, but we're only on 100% Enrage for you guys, so that shouldn't be a problem. It should work always first time, and then we are ending the Telos kill with around 16k life points, in which case another set of minions do spawn right there, but I did decide the HP on Telos was very low, so I just used all my adrenaline, using assaults, using hurricane, and just using absolutely everything that I possibly could do to get the boss down. There was no need for me to go to any other beam or charge up any of the other fonts, just use hurricane and quake to kill the remaining minions and just to kill Telos and complete the requirements for the trimmed completionist cape. So I did hope this little 100% guide did help. What we'll do now, we'll go on to a more enhanced Enrage and to show the method that we do at a higher Enrage. Alright then, so on to a more higher Enrage kill. We're going to be doing a few more different things, adding things in, and just generally changing our strategy slightly, but generally it's the same as what you would do for a 100% Enrage kill. Now, things to note, the golems that spawn are going to hit harder, they're going to have more life points, and also Telos in the centre of the room, his life points is going to increase as well from 100,000 to it caps at 200,000, in which we are at the cap right here in this kill. Now, I spawned again with red minions, but my beam spawn was beautiful. Now, if you're colorblind, like I said on the last section of the video, if you're colorblind, phase 5 really does suck for you. I can't really do anything to explain what to do if you're colorblind. But the fonts are all in the same position as per always, so that we don't have to worry about anything there. Now, as you can see on screen, the red minions did spawn. I got a beautiful beam spawn as well. I went straight into the yellow beam, and we've done exactly the same as what we would do on a 100% Enrage kill. So straight into the yellow beam we go. Use your Excalibur if you can, then use your Overload as well because it'll be probably shortly running out. Make sure you get up to Meteor Strike, click on the furthest away minion, use Meteor Strike, jump straight back into the yellow beam, keep using Anticipation and Freedom when you can. Here I got stunned, I used Freedom out of that. I needed to use Anticipation because I do get stunned again and I do actually get hit by a rock, but I was just purely focused on trying to get these minions down. You've got to try not to panic a little bit, especially on the red minions because they do stun a lot. So with the minions all down using Hurricane and Quake, I then sat back straight into the yellow beam, used Berserk, a Dren pot up, and I got a beautiful beam spawn, which I got the red beam, which meant I dealt increased damage. So I used Assault, I had a wonderful Assault, also whilst getting a Dreadnip on the go as well, so it did stun Telos, causing him to not attack me for a few game ticks. Keeping myself in the red beam, I used a Hurricane which hit a 15k right there, and then the insta-kill attack happens, which I then equip my bow and want to make sure I move straight into the yellow beam, if not 100% adrenaline, just so I can gain the ability to use Immortality and survive the first initial insta-kill attack. So the beam switches after the insta-kill attack, and shortly after that the golems will spawn again. Telos never spawns the same type of golem twice in a row, so once the red minions are kind of like the most aids minion to do, so once they're down and out the way you don't have to worry about them for another 2 minion spawns. So in this case, with the black minions spawned. So what you want to do, when the second set of minions do spawn, you want to head into the yellow beam. I was lucky in this case because the yellow beam was towards the south, near the black font. You want to stand in the yellow beam, get full adrenaline, stand near or inside all the other minions just so you can use Meteor Strike, causing an AoE effect, causing you to damage all the other minions around that area. We then got back into the yellow beam to gain adrenaline once again, but this time not staying fully in it. This is to change our tactics slightly for this next part of the kill, dealing with these black minions as we do not have Immortality on cooldown. So we want to then click on to the furthest black minion by standing near the font as well to charge it when they do die. We want to be using Hurricane and Quake. I got lucky in this sense as well because the bleed effect did actually occur just as all the black minions were about to die. So I got a red bleed in this case, as you can see the red skull on my debuff bar, which means I needed to go into the red beam. Yet again, I was very lucky on where the beam spawned. After clearing my red bleed, I got a yellow beam spawn, causing me to use Onslaught for a few game ticks, thinking that my Dreadnip would stun it so I could use Onslaught for slightly longer, but I had to cancel it due to the rocks, so I then switched it up a little bit. I then used Berserk, and then I also used Devotion so Telos wouldn't hit me, and I could get full effect of my Berserk off using absolutely everything I could offer, using Assault, Hurricane, Tendril, Quake, absolutely everything before Telos did charge up the orb, and also his insta-kill attack. Now, usually when you do not wear Raid's armor, Immortality ability will not be off cooldown, in which you do need to use this method to charge up the second font to avoid the second insta-kill attack. So after charging up the font, I activated the font, causing Telos to drop down and for me to attack him without receiving any damage for a little while. I then got back into the yellow beam, knowing that I only have 40k life points left. I didn't bother moving from that position. I then just gained my adrenaline, avoided rocks, used Meteor Strike and Hurricane just to kill off the remaining minions, not bothering going by the font, because I know in myself that I can deal the damage to kill Telos without him having to do his insta-kill attack again. So I did get very lucky on the beam switches. When they do switch again right there, straight into the yellow beam once again, the yellow beam didn't move. Can't really complain, I got very lucky on this kill. I had a very smooth phase 5, and that is pretty much it for the video. So I do hope this guide did help you, for you people that are going for a trim completionist cape or even the Warden title. And currently I am at 326% Enrage and trying to get the Warden title just using melee. I don't really want to change up by using magic, because I just feel that I can't use magic there. I'm so much better with melee. Melee is more of my style, more of a brute force just to get it done. Yes, you take more damage, but I just like the way melee works and the damage you can deal on phase 3 especially. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this guide does help you out, and as always guys, stay safe, see you in the next video, and peace.